I like to hold it in the sun. All right, here we go. Hold it in the sun. Guys, I don't know about you, but have you ever orbited the sun? The sun is like the hottest thing like ever. So it's just okay. All right, let's try to compose ourselves here first of all. I can barely breathe. Okay, great to see all you guys here. We got the sun here today, so everyone say hi to the sun. Flipper's here with us also, right here. He was with us in biology class, so you might want to watch that and see how experienced with Flipper is. So, DI water, can't get better than that. All right, so anyway, we need to go over what we went over yesterday. I know it's just, the sun is just so crazy right now. I can't imagine where you guys are. Oh, okay, so this is the deal. We need to go over what was on our worksheet yesterday. So go ahead and pull that out. It was number 1, draw Kepler's 3 law of motions, of course. So you know what? Instead of drawing it on the board here, let's kind of exhibit that here. So number 1, always go in an elliptical pattern. So where my head is, it's going to go in an elliptical pattern. You see that, guys? My head is now kind of cool. There you go. I see some people doing that. Excellent. Notice that everything doesn't go in a circle. That's not how it does. I know the book says, well, it doesn't really have a book saying that, but it's always going in elliptical manner, right? So it's always going elongated with a perihelion and then the aphelion, all of that stuff. So make sure you guys understand that. Number 2, now as I get closer to the sun, so I speed up. Oh, slowing down. See you guys later. Oh, get closer to the sun. Whoa. And then we slow down, of course. When we go to the sun, we're going to speed up. Oh. And then once we get away from the sun, we're going to be slowing down. That is number 2. Make sure you guys understand that. Super important for you guys to understand. All right, so number 3 about Kepler's 3rd law of motion is that it always has this period of time. It has a period. It's going to start right here. And it's going to go right there. It has a starting point and then an ending point. It's going to be right there. So that's going to be our 3 laws of motion. You guys want to make sure you guys know that. Anyway, next thing is list the planets in order from starting from the inner planets. I specified this to you guys by labeling the inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and then the outer planets. Some of you guys didn't do that, all right? So we need to make sure you do that in your homework. Always look, guys, come on. Always look on ThinkWave for like extra things that I recommend. Like I'm on ThinkWave like all the time, and you guys don't even like upload like anything. So I'm not upload, but correct. So make sure you go to ThinkWave and correct. Oh, sorry, son. Oh, son, that sounds weird. Okay, so anyway, we need to continue with this idea. What is gravity? Let me demonstrate gravity, all right? Oh, okay. Did you guys get that? Do I need to like do that again? Because let's try that again. Maybe I need a chair here. Okay. Wow, 9.8 meters per second. 9.8 meters per second is how fast gravity is affecting on us, okay? There we go. Okay, refresh. So make sure you understand gravity. It's a force of attraction between two objects. Okay. Notice something here. Planets. There's more than like 9 planets or something, like 8 planets. So you need to make sure that that's gravity. Okay, gravity going in a circle. Okay, so they have an attractional force between the greatest. The greatest, yeah, here we go. It says here the greatest star that has the greatest gravitational pull right here, guys. It's in the chemistry room, not chemistry, it's in the science lab right here. The sun is in the chemistry lab. See how bright it is shining? It is here. That's going to affect the greatest pull that we have dealing with the sun that we have here. Sir Isaac Newton, he was the dude that created this idea, this whole idea of, man, where is gravity? What is it doing? How is it affecting upon us? And I feel like I'm getting in some type of orbit right now. Okay, guys, notice this. The sun, greatest gravitational pull here. We're going in elliptical movements here. Notice that. All right. So that's going to be our worksheet that we had. I assigned for you guys from yesterday. Get it in by 3 o'clock. Guys, 60% of your grade is in doing these worksheets. Come on, let's get good grades. It's time to wake up. Here we go. School is upon us. So let's try to do our best to do that. Now, here we go. So this is what we're going to do right here. I actually have another worksheet for you guys in ThinkWave. What, Mr. Tanner? Did you say ThinkWave? Yeah, I did. Getting hot in here. There we go. Okay, so here's the deal. Please look at ThinkWave. It's going to have all that information you guys need to know to be successful in my class. The sun, it's here, present. So is Mr. Taylor. Let's continue. We have number 1. What verse proves that God is the creator of the universe? Guys, we covered this. Genesis 1:1. Very first day, or it might have been the second day, that God created the heavens and the earth. What an amazing thing that God has actually done this to our entire universe. It's amazing to see God's creation, and that we still, even from when he created it, we still see it nowadays. On page 288, we're going to see this idea right here about a hypothesis, and this is kind of where you're going to get these verses at. Notice this, the more the people study the solar system, the more we're going to be amazed at the solar system's variety of heavenly bodies, including its extremely hot star, the sun. Hey, the sun and the house. Here we go. Continue. Giant gas planets, moons from all volcanic activity of the Earth, and comets that take thousands of years to travel around the sun. Astronomers who believe in special grace should see that God's power and design is all the solar power's wonder, while astronomers who believe in the evolution have trouble understanding how the solar system came into existence. So evolutionists still trying to explain how the Earth was created. We already know Genesis 1:1. Wake up here, guys. Make sure you're listening. We got number 1. What verse proves that God is the creator of the universe? Genesis 1:1. Notice that. Write it down. Number 1. Here we go. Let's continue. The Bible clearly states God is the creator of the universe, including the solar system. Genesis 1:1. Here it is. God created the heavens and the earth. Or in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1:16 and 17. Another fact to prove what we're talking about here with the Bible. It says here, Genesis 1:6-17. God created the sun, moon, and stars. Although the planets were not mentioned in these verses, they were most likely created at this time. Still getting hot here, guys. Whew. Okay, let's continue. Many verses outside Genesis also describe the creation of the universe. God created the heavens with wisdom. Psalms 104:24. It's right there. It says, "In understanding, God's word was powerful enough to bring the heavens into existence." We have Isaiah 45:12. Notice this. Isaiah 45:12 says this. I, even my hands. This is God talking right here. He says this. I, even my hands, have stretched out the heavens and all their hosts have I commanded. Amazing verse, guys, to think about. You know, not only are we studying just our area beyond our exosphere, but you know what? God created all that stuff. And not only that, we still see the evidence of that today. Amazing. Let's continue here. It says this: evolutionary astronomers have tried to find other ways to describe how the solar system came together. All right, let's see what they're trying to hypothesize here. What are they trying to develop to try to explain how in the world the world was even created? Says this right here. One general acceptance, or accepted idea that we have here is the nebular hypothesis. We already know a hypothesis is almost like an educated guess. I think that pigs fly. Well, let's go test it. Let's see if that's true. Let's start throwing pigs off roofs and see if they fly. That's probably not going to happen, but actually don't try that because that's going to kill one pig, so don't do that. So nebular hypothesis, what is this idea right here? According to this idea, the solar system began forming 4.6 billion years ago with massive clouds of gas and dust being collapsed inward and rotating. So this is trying to how evolutionists are trying to decide how the universe actually came to be, and not necessarily true here, because we already know that God created the universe. God created the sun, moon, and stars in just those 5 words. Pretty amazing to think about. Number 3 on your worksheet says this hypothesis is established by evolutionary astronomers that states the solar system was formed by a cloud of gas as well as dust. So you gotta kind of notice this. Evolution is still trying to create this idea of how in the world did the Earth form, but we already know this nebular hypothesis, kind of different idea here. Let's continue down the paragraph here on page 288. It says this: the rest of the material flattened out like a disc around the center because this material was supposedly a form of the planet. It was called protoplanetary. So proto. So if you ever heard of like a prototype, something new, something fascinating, or something on the edge of engineering, something proto, the very first one, the prototype. That's what they actually called this when they were going through this idea of how to decipher which planets were where and how they're kind of making up this idea here. So it's called the protoplanetary disk. Not necessarily true. Let's continue. Within the hypothetical planetary disk, material began to clump together into chunks and collide. So notice this: we have chunks of the masses colliding. So if we have a chunk of metal here, all of these are coming together and creating one big planet. That's one of the things that evolutionary people are trying to identify and notice here. And this is actually called something. That what happens here, we have all of these masses coming together, colliding, sticking together into this ball of what they eventually call planets. That's number 5 here. It says here, the evolutionary idea in which planets collided into chunks of rocks that stick together to form even larger pieces. Sorry guys, it's getting too hot with the sun here. Okay, all right, man, I'm so glad I have this squeeze bottle for me. All right, so it says this here, accretion. So ACCRETION. Accretion is this idea, number 5 that we see here. It's this almost hypothetical planetary disk material beginning to clump together into chunks and then colliding into more areas. So my microphone is not working. Please check your connection. Guys, can you hear me? Can you hear Mr. Taylor? Oh, man, let's see here. Nicholas says we are not. You know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to go to this idea right here. The microphone is not working. What in the world's going on? You guys can't hear me when I'm trying to speak. Can you guys hear me? Thumbs up anywhere. No, okay. You know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to say we don't need this anymore. All right. Can you guys hear me? Thumbs up. Can you hear me? Still can't hear me? The microphone is not. Can you hear me? You guys can hear me? What in the world? Are you guys pulling my leg today? Let's see here. Jed, I have a question. Oh, where'd Jed go? Jed just totally flew out of here. Jed just turned into a planet. Oh, there he is. Jed, talk to me. Jed, I can't hear you. This is strange, guys. This planetary thing is just colliding into what I need to know here. Oh, maybe I need to put up the volume. No, the volume is 100%. Not sure what's going on here, guys. Okay, so let's see. Jed, can you hear me? Ah, okay, so Jed can hear me. Kathleen can hear me. She got a thumbs up. Who can else give me a thumbs up so that we can get see? Okay, Mark. All right, Phil. All right, Megan. Gozy. All right, man. You guys are a huge help today. Thank you guys very much. I think it's the sun might be dealing with my electronics here. Might be kind of exploding it. I don't even know what's going on here. All right, so we have this idea of the nebular hypothesis. We need to kind of decipher like this isn't really a true thing. So number 6, how is the nebular hypothesis not scientifically sound? Well, first of all, no one saw it happen. No one saw the process in which we have here on the board when we have chunks of the masses of Earth just colliding, or space particles colliding, forming bigger and larger elements and larger planets. We just don't see that happening. So no one really ever saw that. So we can't really scientifically say that is sound evidence. Number 2, no one can contest the hypothesis. There's no way that you can go back and then solidify what is scientific. You know, if you guys remember when we talked about probably the first quarter about our scientific process, we have to test things. We have to make sure they're repeatable, they're falsifiable, we can actually test them. That's not necessarily true here. That's not going to happen. So that's number 2. Number 3, planets and moons do not have the same composition. Interesting. If you look at Earth's composition and then you look at Mars's composition, it's totally different things. What the nebular hypothesis says that we have all of these ingredients together colliding, and that we should have some of them same material in different locations. However, that's not necessarily true. We don't see that. That was number 3. And then also number 4 in our book, it says comets don't last very long. So kind of interesting. I remember I was in a plane one time coming back from college, and there was a comet flying with our airplane across the sky. It was really bright green, I believe it was called. Kind of cool. Comets don't last very long. Same idea here. All these chunks of metal colliding, they're not going to last very long, especially in our universe. And we have all those things that are happening in that area, and they're just not going to last very long, especially dealing with how the nebular hypothesis actually works. So number 1 for number 6 on your paper, how is the nebular hypothesis not scientifically sound? Well, no one saw it happen. Number 2, no one can test the hypothesis. Number 2, no one can test the hypothesis. Number 3, planets and moons do not have the same composition. And then number 4, comets don't last very long. Make sure you guys have all those 4. Those are in your book, but I summarize that whole paragraph for you guys so that it's easier for you guys to submit things. Homework numbers 1 through 2. Numbers 1 through 2, for number 1 is actually on the next page. So on page 289, that's where you're going to find homework number 1. I would take a look at there, make sure you find it. Not only that, tell me why you like or dislike gravity. Maybe you can say, you know what, I like gravity because I can fly across the room in my Earth and space class or something, and it's fun. Or maybe you say, you know what, I don't really like gravity very much because I fell off on a skateboard one time and I scraped my knee. That's why I don't like gravity. But you know, you got to think about it. You know, God created gravity, so you know what, maybe I'll choose that one. But there really is no right or wrong answer. Just make sure you tell me in your original idea why you like gravity. That is pretty much it for our class today. Before you leave, whoa, hold on. Before you guys leave, make sure you submit all of these papers that I have for you guys. At 3 o'clock, I'm grading yesterday's worksheet. 3 o'clock, please submit it because I want you guys to get 100% on these. These are super easy tasks. I know you guys can do it. That is all we have for today. We'll see you guys later. Have a great rest of your day. Oh, we got a bell. see you guys later. Have a great rest of your day. If you have a question, stay on the line. I want to answer those. So Ashley, yes. Interesting. I don't hear Ashley. Here. How about Caleb Love? Yes. Okay, Caleb, how about you try that one more time? Man, I cannot hear you guys at all. This is so weird. I'm not sure why. I'm trying to. It says you guys are all unmuted, and I can't hear anyone. So, can you guys hear me? Okay, you guys can hear me, but I can't hear any of you guys. This is so weird. Yeah, Jed, I can't hear you. Good try though. Okay, Phil's giving me the peace sign. Peace to you as well. All right, so you guys are gonna have to type this in the chat because I cannot hear you guys at all. This is so weird. So go ahead and try that. So we have Caleb. What is number 2? Number 2 is actually on page 288, Caleb. On page 288, number 2 can be found. Number 4. Oh, it looks like. So it looks on the work on your guys' worksheet. It might be numbered 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Is that correct? I think. Okay. All right. So I guess I forgot to put number 4. There is no number 4, so you guys get a freebie today. So awesome. Okay. So let's see what else we have here. What was number 3? It's on page 288. 288. Number 3 is located. Let's see. Do we have anyone else? Sorry about this, guys. I'm not sure. Mark, you're going to have to type your answer to the Zoom chat because I can't hear you guys at all. And I have no idea why everything is kind of going crook. That's all right. What else here? Anyone else? Do you have any questions? Answer number 4. So on number 6, it says, how is the nebula hypothesis not scientifically sound? Number 4 is comets don't last long. And then if you notice a number 1, 2, 3, and there's no 4. Right, so we still have some people here. What is ant? What is ant? Okay. In the other homework, it said we had to draw it. I wrote it. Is that okay? So make sure you do need to have the drawing. Make sure you have the drawing. And then what you can do is that you can draw it out and then take a picture of it and then send it to me. That could work too. All right, good. People are slowly leaving, so hopefully you have any questions. Jed, do you have any questions? Jed, did you get the homework from me from yesterday? Let me take a look. Jed, actually need to turn off the YouTube channel. Let me see if I got it from Jed. So Jed, yes, I did get it from you, Jed. I got yesterday's homework from you. All right, Nicholas, I have a question. Question to number 5. Okay, that's on page 288. I got pretty much all this information from page 288 since we're only going 2 pages at a time, so it's there. Hi, Jed. Dude, I have no idea what happened.